decide to step up to this kind of play. This kind of fun.
Bully!
This kind of experience.
Hey, guys.
Nice jacket, Paul.
Why are you dressed like you're in a boy band?
Seriously? My Super NES commercial from the 90s with my long black duster, indie rocked hair, and beaded necklace? Now we're playing with power. Come on.
If you are a Nintendo fan, I am here to tell you, you should be excited about the Switch 2. Yep, Leveled is telling you, you should be excited about the Switch 2, even with all the negative things that have taken place up to this point. You still should be excited for what you're seeing with the Switch 2. Yeah, I know it was a rough introduction. You had the Trump tariff looming overhead, which caused things to just come to a halt. Nintendo had to delay the pre-order date in America and Canada. Then, self-inflicted wounds. Nintendo withheld the price and the price of their software until after the Direct, which caused another outrage because it was $450, which no one expected. And then Mario Kart World was $80. Then misinformation carried on, and many thought it was going to be physically $90, which that was wrong, but still, $80, taking the price up $10 over what Sony had already introduced with the PlayStation 5. Is it worth it? Should they be able to? And then they showed us the Mario Kart World Direct, and yeah, it wasn't all that. But the game is all that, but that Direct wasn't all that. We had seen all that. But I'm still telling you with full confidence, you should be excited about the Switch 2. Oh, yeah, you should be excited about the Switch 2. Now, at the beginning of this video, I played the new commercial that Nintendo has just released a few days ago, maybe a week or so, about a week ago, with Paul Rudd drawing on those nostalgic strings, going all the way back to the Super NES, when Paul Rudd was younger, maybe 20, 30 years younger, and he catches the controller and he says, now you're playing with power, and you see all the games, F-Zero and all the different games on the Super NES playing. And I know that put a lot of nostalgic smiles on all of our faces who were younger back then, who was there to witness and get a chance to play the Super NES when it came out. Those who remember when the NES came out for the first time and the Super NES came out and N64 and GameCube, those of us that go back that far, many of y'all don't go back that far, but Levelhead goes back that far. I'm here to tell you that wasn't just meant to put a nostalgic smile on your face. Nintendo is making a statement with that commercial and with that part right here when they said, now you're playing with power. See, what I inferred from that commercial is Nintendo is saying we are not the Blue Ocean strategy, Nintendo. We're not trying to find those non-traditional gamers like we were with the Wii. We understand that when we found them, when we did that, we were successful. Million plus sold, but none of those sales transitioned and translated to the Wii U. See, all they wanted to play was Wii Sports, and they was happy to bowl and tennis and around parties and collect dust throughout the rest of the year. So we don't want that. We did that. And we're not doing gimmick for gimmick's sake. We're not building our hardware around the gimmick. I don't know if y'all been listening to what they've been saying, but when they designed the Switch 2, they didn't want to put the gimmick in the hardware. They had focused that type of stuff in the software itself. DK Bonanza, you can destroy anything in the world. That's the gimmick. See, y'all don't understand. Mario Kart World, go wherever you want to. That's the gimmick. But so we're not doing that, and we're not course correcting like we did with the Switch. See, all those mistakes of focusing on gimmicks and weird controllers and change for change sake put us in a situation where we had to figure out some things, so we brought our two devices together and we began to focus on one device and we made it a hybrid and we struck oil. and we found our niche, we found our lane. Now we can strategically return to a former identity. Now you are playing with power. But again, they're not trying to compete directly with Sony and Microsoft, but Nintendo has figured out something. I don't have to right now. Because of where the industry is, I'm going to strike in this moment while the iron is hot. See, if you haven't been paying attention, you will realize that these companies are struggling to progress forward and maintain affordability. Why? Because of diminishing returns. See, we cannot just make graphical leaps like we used to and stay affordable. That's why the PlayStation 5 Pro is $700 and you only get marginal benefits, more stable frame rates, better ray tracing. But the game doesn't look that much better than the PlayStation 5 version. And guess what? A lot of the games on the PlayStation 5 don't look that much better than games on the PlayStation 4. Last of Us Remake didn't look that much better than The Last of Us that came before. Last of Us 2 didn't look that much better than The Last of Us 2 that came before. Why? Because there's only so much you can do before you begin to price yourself out of the casual markets. And that's when Nintendo is striking like they're striking right now. Because of diminishing returns, we can do something in this moment that puts us in a unique position. See, Nintendo didn't hold back. When people thought they wouldn't do 1080p, they did 1080p screen. When people thought they wouldn't do HDR, they did HDR. When people thought they wouldn't do VRR, they did VRR. No one thought they would do anything 120 frames, and they did 120. All these things Nintendo is doing, even the hardware itself and NVIDIA and what they have created is allowing this Switch 2 to beat a drum in a unique position where they have found true parity at a time where both Sony and Microsoft is going to find it hard to make that graphical leap to separate themselves from the Nintendo device this time around and maintain affordability. Oh, the PlayStation 6 is not going to be cheap, folks. And the new, whatever this new handheld from Sony is not going to be cheap as well. And Nintendo is in a unique place right now where you wonder why you're paying $450 because you got a $450 system that deserves that price because they're doing a little bit more than you expect and is allowing them to hit at a level that gets them parity where third party will find a home with them and they can shrink that gap at a time that neither Microsoft nor Sony can do much to separate themselves like they have always done. All this is unique. This is a different place for Nintendo. And this is why you need to be excited because this generation is going to be equally as long as the Switch generation was. And you're going to probably see every title that possibly can come coming to the Switch. The best of first party from Nintendo. Oh, y'all ain't seen Nintendo like you're about to see Nintendo. Oh, you ain't seen a Nintendo game like you're about to see a Nintendo game. Why? Because they gave themselves a system that can do everything they need to do and compete and be in parity with the other platforms where they need to. Not competing directly, but enough oomph under that hood to do some miraculous things. Not no impossible ports, but a smart and strategic design games taking advantage of what the Switch 2 can do. This is a place we haven't seen Nintendo at since the Super NES. They really are playing with power in a handheld device where neither Sony nor Microsoft can realistically respond at the moment. They're going to have about a 2 to 3 year window to show off in a way that we haven't seen, while both Sony and Microsoft are still trying to manage where we at. How do I keep delivering these games at the level that we have and maintain affordability. Microsoft bowed out. Microsoft like, we just gonna buy these companies. Everything is an Xbox. Your Fire Stick is an Xbox. Steam Deck is an Xbox. Matter of fact, they teaming up with Asus and gonna make a Rogue Ally, and that's gonna be an Xbox. Sony is still treading on like they always did, more power, and they pricing themselves out. Games costing too much to build. Developers, y'all saw what Square Enix said. We can no longer make our games exclusive to Sony. We got to put these games any and everywhere they can go, Nintendo and Microsoft. Why? Because we want to make our money back. These games cost too much to produce to continue to do the exclusive thing. EA bringing Madden? Oh, yeah, this is a different Nintendo. You should be excited. Cyberpunk? Outlaws? Shadows? People. You should be excited for the Switch 2. You should be excited for what's possible and what lays ahead, because we're in a unique place where the struggle is real and Nintendo caught up at the right time. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. We'll be on the Live and Level Gamers podcast this Thursday at 8:30. Love for you to join us there. But give me your thoughts. Am I making sense here? Am I sounding crazy? Just want to know. Peace.